without saying, step one is loosening the lug nuts, jacking up the car, removing the wheel, being met with your nasty studs. You are going to take your 17 millimeter, put it on the back of the caliper, like so, and then you are just going to break it free. I might have cheated and done it off camera. Alright, now we're going to do the bottom bolts. I raised the car just a little bit so I can get a bit better of an angle. Alright, now that we got both of the caliper bolts out, put them to the side. You can jiggle your caliper off. You can just lay it on your busted tie rod end. Cool. Alright, next we're going to be using that impact screwdriver set that you got from Harbor Freight. Take out the tool, put it together. Here we go. And then it should just twist. Wow! A tool that works. What a concept. Let's do the other one. Somebody has been here before, there's no doubt about it. Alright. Pull off that rotor. And here we are. So, in the back, you can see we have the heat shield in the way. Or dust shield, I should say. What we're going to do is we're going to try to remove that first, I would think. And then we'll see if we have to modify the knuckle. So what I'm going to do is, I am probably going to cut this off just so it's not in the way. Alright, cross your legs, the Hitachi is out. We are going to cut right through here, and then we'll be able to remove the shield and give us a little bit better view of where we're going. Then we can shimmy it off. All right. So we saw that we could actually hammer these things out, but I didn't like the amount of tension it was probably putting on the threads that sit inside here. So after some trial and error, I have discovered that yes, you can absolutely smack these things straight out if you want to do it right here on this flatmost part of the caliper. However, I felt like it was putting a little bit too much tension on these splines. They're very, very small and very important that they stay in good shape. So what I just did is, as a test, I angle ground one of them in half completely and removed it that way. It doesn't seem like I've done any damage on the other two that I just hammered out. But I would say the preferred method to get these in and out would be to shave a little bit of this off with the angle grinder. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so now we're switching to the grinder pad instead of the cutting pad. Alright, I'm hoping just that little bit will be enough to get the studs through, so let me go finally grab them and we'll get this done. Alright, the studs have arrived. Here is the part number. The link will be in the description. So these studs are pretty much used on Integras, Civics, CR-Vs, Accords, most 90s Honda products regardless of their market. They're pretty much universal. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to hammer this thing on. I think we have just barely enough clearance without having to shave off any more material. Obviously, we can avoid taking off more, we will. Let's hammer this thing on. we are currently using a spacer. If you don't have one, you can use a washer to seat the studs in all the way so everything lines up nice. What I'm using is a 12 millimeter spacer. Again, you can stack washers. If you don't have one, that's totally fine. In fact, there is actually a particular tool that most professional mechanics have to put new studs in. We do not have that luxury today, but regardless of that, what I'm doing is I'm taking some open-ended nuts here. I'm going to line them all up. I'm going to use the gun here, or you could use a ratchet. It'll take a little bit more time, but I'm just using a gun to basically seal in these studs nice and nice. All right. Alright, now that these are all super secure, we're going to undo our little contraption here. Zip these off. Sweet. And just like that, without being done, you are done. We are going to reinstall everything really quickly. The dust shield, again, same as before. Pass the screwdriver, shimmy it through the little hole here, feed the thread, and then you're just going to do this 3 times until the one on the top, the right, and the bottom, in this case, are all secure. Now the rotor. The dust shield is kind of causing some friction, so I'm just going to tap in the corners here. Here we go, much better. No resistance, the way it should be. We can put the caliper on now. Pretty soon I'll do a video on pads and rotors, but not yet. We still got a good amount of life left on these things, even though they do look ancient. Just kind of give it, again, a little shimmy. And there we go. Back in position. So now we're just going to tighten these things down. Trusty 17. And now we should probably torque these to spec, but we're just going to tighten them by hand. I hope you found this video somewhat informative. Keep in mind, I am not a mechanic by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just a silly man with a silly car, and when things break, I'm the guy that fixes them. So stick around, this was fun. I want to make more videos soon. Drive safe.